What is up, everybody? So today I have a special guest with me, Mr.
Go on, fan 27.
And today we're about to talk about some bullshit that we just witnessed. So the beloved. Well, I can't even say the beloved. Zoe 101 is a very fire TV show that we liked, watched it as children. So we watched Zoe 102, and at first, well, how about you say your thoughts first, Mr. Gohan Fan 27?
Alright, so, the movie, it started, already there were red flags, right? Zoe, she's, going to work. She has this assistant who is literally dumb. He doesn't know anything. He literally needs her to tell him his every move. He just repeats every word she says. Like, he was really dumb. You know, I don't want to say he was a problem in the film, but for plot, he was as dumb as he was. But we'll get into that later. But anyways, so basically Zoe gets a call from Quinn. She hasn't been to no parties that they had. They live close to each other. It's basically like Goku with Boma and all them. He hasn't seen them in 10 years. She gets prissy about it. And that's where you see, Zoe hasn't changed. She's always been a mean, just all about me type of person, and throughout the entire series, right? We rewatch certain episodes as a kid. You see Zoe, you think she's the cool girl. She has all her friends doing everything she wants. She going on adventures because she's the main character. But besides that, she's always mean. It's all about her. She causing everybody problems. She lying. In this film, she lies, and then that's where everything starts.
I just want to say I totally agree with everything you just said. I'm gonna be frank. Zoe is a bitch. Foul. I don't know. They literally. I'm gonna let Mr. Gohan Fan continue, because when he gets to that point, I'll say that. But I just wanted to say, yes, Zoe is not who you. If you think Zoe is a good person, bro, no, no.
So basically, now let's get to the plot, right? So Zoe's invited by Quinn and Logan, right? And she while she's on the phone with them, they're like, "Oh, our wedding is on a certain date." Where Zoe also has like a special live show that she can't mess up, and because her assistant doesn't know anything, actor, yeah, because the actor doesn't know anything, right? He needs her by his side at that live show, but it's on the same day as Quinn and Logan's wedding day. So Zoe lies and says she has no plans, and then Quinn's like, "Oh, it's great, everything's peachy."
Peachy.
But what's gonna call it? The way Zoe is, right?
Zoe is a bitch. Terrible.
Zoe, you
I don't
know,
like it.
she's conceited.
You're so conceited. You're so conceited.
Oh, that's what Robbie said.
That's you saying you're so conceited. You're so conceited.
You're so conceited, Tori.
You're so conceited.
Yeah, they all are. I mean, Carly is not as bad, but
I think
the
she got better.
yeah, she got better, but the others are worse. And Zoe's the worst.
Yeah, Zoe.
But yeah, basically Zoe's conceited, right? And she was like, "Oh, I can't have them be better than me." So she literally was so down bad. She had people. She went online and basically found random people
through
that
audition
could,
tapes
yeah, throw audition tapes like
for
in
the show.
for the show that she was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even more down bad. I didn't even know it was like that. I thought they came there knowing.
Nah, B, it was for the show.
Yeah.
Remember, he said you're with the audition team. Remember, because the Greg. I'll see that in my part of the review. Because remember what I told you earlier with the whole Greg situation? Bullshit.
Basically, right? She lied. She lied in the whole beginning of the movie to everybody, right? She told what's his name, her dumb not assistant, the dumb actor, that she would be there on the live show. Then she tells Quinn, "Oh, I'll be there at the wedding." And then she gets all conceited about it. She's like, "Oh, I need to be the best person there. She makes a whole plan, a whole list. She's like, "Oh, I need a boyfriend, a fake boyfriend." And yeah, the car. She stole her friend's car, right? That's yeah, she borrowed. No, she stole it.
No, she oh, well, yeah,
Because she never gave it back.
Yeah, you're right. Because
And then she never asked for it.
Nah,
she lied
she
to him about it. Yeah, she got the keys, but then
yeah, he was like, "Are you kidding me?" And then he was proud of her.
Yeah.
Thinking she would get it back.
Yeah.
It back. He thought. Well, I don't want to assume I don't want to assume their pronouns. They thought that she would give it back. She did not give that bitch back, and even worse, ZOEY did not deserve the ending she got at all. And the ending we got, if you guys ever saw Afro Samurai Resurrection, we were Afro Samurai Resurrection. I am so mad. It's some bullshit. If you know, you know.
Yeah, we'll get to that part later. But basically, ZOEY hires not even hires, right? She begs the man to be her fake boyfriend from Australia, because that was the lie she told Quinn. And then she also right, she was like listening in at the wedding to like Stacy saying how, oh, Chase has a girlfriend now and serious.
You have to say their occupations first.
Oh yeah. So whatchamacallit? Chase is a teacher. ZOEY, she's like doing some show behind the scenes type of thing. Michael is a singer. Well, not a singer. He's a musician, but not a musician. Well, he's a rapper. He's a music artist and a rapper, but he used to be a singer, but that's not what they showed in the movie. But who else? Logan sells cars and stuff like that, and then Quinn, she's like, I don't know exactly what she is. She's on she an inventor. She's on like some she's on TV, she's on magazines, she's living life good, right? She's doing the best. Her and Logan are doing the best out of everybody else, but everybody seems to be happy with their life, right? Oh yeah, Stacy and Mark are married together. And she orders him around the whole time. But yeah, she's like the #1 murder podcaster. And yeah, she's basically saying how, oh, Chase has a girlfriend. ZOEY, she listens in on it, falls over, and then that's where they learn about like the whole Australian boyfriend thing. And she gets an actor to play that boyfriend, and whatchamacallit? Man, like what happened after that? So she was like eavesdropping, and they were talking
Remember,
about
that's what she.
Chase.
That's what. Yeah, she got the boyfriend,
Oh yeah,
and then
yeah
some
she got
pandering happened. We don't even. It doesn't even matter. But
yeah
the main
yeah
important fact is. The main important fact is, she brought the man to the thing, right? He's very impressive, very all this, very all that. They're like, oh, your boyfriend. But like, work is getting in the way. And she really has to babysit this actor. So, because she has to babysit the actor, and because he responds well to her, she, her boss, who is a whole mess entirely, but that's a different conversation. He he is like, he basically doesn't really care. He's like, if you work for me, you work for me. If you don't, you don't, bitch. I could replace you with RP. And basically, yeah. So noticing how he needed Zoe because he messed up one of his lines. Her boss is like, nigga, you need to babysit this man. I don't care what you do, but you need to babysit this man.
Zoe also was like put in another position as well because she like messed up earlier in the film or something at her job.
Yeah, that's how she got the audition.
Yeah, that's how she got the audition. And also, Chase, Zoe sees Chase while Logan and Quinn are doing the wedding rehearsals, right? And Chase, of course, like when he first saw her, bumps into the flag, not a flagpole, just a random pole, and hits his head. His nose starts bleeding. This happens like 2 or maybe 3 times in the film. But
Wow.
yeah, Chase just keeps getting just battered the whole film. But yeah, Logan, he's busy trying to make this the perfect wedding for Quinn, but he's not listening to Quinn. He's just trying to make it a spectacle. The way Quinn wanted it, she could have just eloped and been happy. She didn't want no big wedding. She was just like, oh, when we're together, we love each other, that's all that matters. But Logan's like, oh, I gotta prove my love to you. I gotta buy you. He bought her flower. He literally proposed to this woman over 40 to 50 times, and she said no. And then he finally did it again, and then he has to do it another time. But we'll get to that later.
I'm gonna be honest. The best part of this film is Quinn and Logan. They are the best part of this film, and that's what hurts in the end. That's what hurts. But anyways, so yeah, basically yada yada yada. Zoe brings her actor and makes him an Australian. She looks at they're at her wedding, like picking out dresses and shit. And that's when Stacy is saying this to the girl, saying, "Oh, she's still not over Chase," and she sees a tag that's named Hemsworth. So the actor she chose, she made him a Hemsworth, and they were asking, oh, is he Australian? Yada yada yada. She said he's a doctor or a surgeon or some shit. I'm high as fuck. But anyway, the point is, basically, so she gets this hot guy for her auditions or whatever, and she tricks him technically by making him think he's getting on the show, but then he's like, I'll agree if you can get me on the show. And she at least she didn't lie to the man. She said, I'll try.
That was like the first time she did not lie in this movie. And that was like maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, and it was just constant lying to all of her friends. But to a random man, she's like, oh, you may get the part. I can't guarantee it. But anyways, Chase comes in, him and Zoe meet. They keep getting like pushed together in this movie. It's like literally fate wanted them to be together. Chase keeps hurting himself. Zoe, she sees it, she laughs at him. They have a moment together. but but they look, they look sad most of the movie. Oh yeah, so basically, like the main thing, one of the main things they try to grab you with in this movie is that, oh, the last time Chase and Zoe were together, they were in Hawaii, and something happened there that like separated them and caused them to have a falling out, right?
Now, to add on to what Mr. Gohan fan was saying is, yeah, remember in the end of Zoe 101 when she's like, I'll go to Hawaii, do you want to come? And then he's like, I'll go to Hawaii with you. So the nigga actually went, right? But this bitch is like, we already going through a rough patch, so I ain't going. Fuck it. Left him there, no call, no text. We're thinking, okay, what happened that made them? Did they have an argument? Did he try to propose? Like, what happened only to have her ditch him? So that was a letdown. But then, oh yeah, in the beginning of the film, you think Chase is proposing to Zoe, but no, it's a man. And mind you, it was on. They only had 2 dates. They only had 2 dates. The movie was cheesy, which I expected. Okay, but I had high hopes. I was excited to see it. I could not wait to see this film. I knew it was not going to be that great. I knew, but I still wanted to see it anyway. But still, the problem is, how come? How come they kept trying to push something? And one of the main focuses of this movie is Quinn and Logan are getting married, right? That's the main focus, right? That's the main setting. Quinn and Logan are getting married, right? So yeah, you see Quinn and Logan going through, like, Quinn, like my brother was saying here. He was saying, yo, she didn't really feel like, like her ideas mattered. Logan, he loves Quinn. You can see that. Like, he truly loves her. He loves her. However, he really wants to make this wedding so big for both of them because he's like, I want to show my love to her. I want to prove it. I want the world to see it. Basically, that kind of mentality. While Quinn is like, we can get eloped. Like, we can go to Vegas right now. That type of attitude. So, they go through ups and downs. It's getting a little overwhelming for Quinn. And Zoe is supposed to be there with her. Quinn asked Zoe to be the maid of honor, and she's asking Zoe, for help. But Zoe, you can see Zoe is leaving either for her job or to keep up with her lies, and you see it's low key hurting Quinn. And Quinn is feeling down, and then later in the film when Zoe had to get the rings for them because she forgot to get the fucking rings. But before that, Mr. Gohan Fan 27, we want to talk about the stupid. We had a Disney moment in this film that led to a very bizarre encounter. However, keep in mind, Chase has a girlfriend, quote unquote. And yeah, Mr. Gohan Fan.
So first off, right, we gotta talk about Zoe's boyfriend, who's an actor, right? This whole movie, he was carrying Zoe the entire movie. Every time Zoe had a problem, she came to him, literally begged him. He didn't have to do it, but he was like, you know what? I don't know, Zoe, I'm gonna try to be a good person for you. And, maybe he'll get a gig that'll like help him in his career, right? Because he's literally addicted to acting. When they first showed up to the wedding, this man had his eyes closed. They almost killed Quinn and Logan. They literally, oh yeah, the wedding rehearsals, right? So yeah, when they first meet Quinn and Logan, and then the way Zoe plays it off is just it's really messed up, right? And it shows how shallow she is. So Zoe, her and her man, well, pretend man, is in a car that drives by itself. But of course, technology is not perfect. So it just keeps going, right? And oh yeah, so right before that, Michael just, they dumbed all the characters down for this movie. So you got Michael here when he first sees Quinn and Logan, he sees their cake and he thinks it's them. So he's literally about to walk into the cake and then just push it down on them. But they gotta stop him. And right after that, you got ZOEY and her pretend man coming in. The car literally almost kills them, but they managed to stop it in time because this man, he was trying to get into character. He had his eyes closed. He was reading books. He was like, really going into it. And then, they almost killed them. And you know how ZOEY plays off almost killing her friends? She's like, oh, it wasn't an accident. It was a flashy entrance. That's how you make an entrance. And Logan, he's about that action. So he's like, I'll accept that. But, yeah, after that, you got them, so the pretend boyfriend, let's just, his name is, Todd. Todd's like his real name. I believe too. But, what's gonna call it? So Chase, ZOEY, ZOEY, she's a real shallow human being, right? So her and all other friends are at a table, drinking beers because, like, I don't know, one of them, like, was it Quinn who said they were going to like a restaurant or something like that?
No. They were at a wedding rehearsal, and Quinn felt very, like overwhelmed. I think, and that's when she was in the bathtub unclogging the drain. And I think that's when ZOEY said, "Let's get out of here." And then, Quinn, they were saying, "Yo, let's get out of here." And for Quinn, she's just like, leave my own wedding, and Zoe's like, yeah, you're the bride. So wedding rehearsal, and wedding party, I would say. So they leave, go to a karaoke bar.
So they get to the karaoke bar. They're all taught. Oh yeah, this is where you learn where everything we knew was a lie about PCA. So basically, PCA, the main cast, they were the last attending class that ever joined there, even though in the show you see like younger kids, but whatever. Literally the last episode, they're like, people are asking them questions that's in the new grades, but plot. But anyways, so basically they were the last class to go to PCA. And the entire time, the principal was using everybody's intuition to just gamble at a casino.
School was first investigated because of poor education, only to find out that Dean Rivers, he used the students' tuition to gamble, and they had to close the school down. That first was a knife in the chest. That was the first strike for me.
So right after that, they're all talking to each other, and then Chase, you can see he's getting jealous, and he still has feelings for ZOEY, but he's just not going after her. All right, so they're all talking. Chase still has feelings for ZOEY, and ZOEY's boyfriend, he's literally the life of the party the entire time. ZOEY's literally gone most of the time, and her man is there literally covering for her. He literally, all the girls were feeling them, so they have like their little slumber party.
No, that was after the part. I remember the bar scene.
Oh yeah. That was after the bar scene, but you got the whole Disney moment happened. So first, it was all cool. until Zoe had to like push Chase. So the whole time they're all drinking, right? Zoe is basically an alcoholic. She be drinking every chance she get in this film. And then Chase is similar to every time they at that every time you see any beer around him, he has one in his hand. Like every time you see them drinking and all the guys are together, Chase is there. He has a beer in his hand. He's drinking. Yeah, Chase is just mad. He's sad this entire movie. He's literally getting hit. You know, Zoe's being what's I'ma call it? A priss. But she's like, you know, her man asks her, "Oh, can I get permission for a kiss?" And then she's like, "Sure." And as he kisses her,
bombastic side eye
with one eye, she literally has one eye closed. She opens one other eye, and then she looks to the side at Chase while the man is kissing her. She gives him the bombastic side eye, and then, you know, Chase, you know, he continues drinking after he sees that. And so now the whole reason they came here starts, right? To be Disney, right? They came to a karaoke place, and Zoe's man goes up there. He starts, you know, stripping for all the women. He takes his shirt off, starts humping the ground. Chase whips out his, you know, his singing talent. You know, he starts singing and serenading everybody. But, you know, everybody's feeling, you know, the striptease even more. So Chase, you know, he gets offended and he's like, "Oh, this is all for Zoe, right?" And, you know, the best character in this film, Todd, he's like, "Oh, you know, he doesn't even, you know, entertain it. He's just like, "You know what? I think you do have feelings for Zoe. This is your problem, Chase, not mine." And Chase, he can't accept that. So what's his name? Todd, he walks away to the crowd. Everybody's like, "Oh, are they fighting?" Because they were just literally singing, having a good time. Everybody doesn't realize it. They step out. Chase runs at the man. This man, Todd, he literally does a squat, grabs Chase at his hips, and then lifts him in the air, and then they both fall down. And then, like, you know, Chase is just mad the rest of the movie, and then Zoe gotta calm him down. And then that's where you learn about Hawaii, because they get trapped in that car that drives itself. Literally the next morning when they have to.
That's when the slumber party happened, I believe. And she left because Quinn said, she woke up and noticed Quinn said get the rings. And that's when she had to get the rings. And remember, Chase does morning jogs or some shit. And he ended up jogging and ran into the car and fell, right? And then he ended up he sits in the car, which I'm like, why are you even sitting in the car? And then the car locks. It's kind of like, not like thinking about it. It does, like, bro. And then you're mad that you're locked in the car. Like, nigga, why would you go in the car? Why the fuck would you go in the car in the first place? No, like, are you? Anyways, plot, like you said, plot. And then on top of that, it's like they're locked in the car, and then they're saying something about "Don't Speak," and they play my song "Don't Speak" by No Doubt, and then, you know, they're locked. They get the wedding ring. They go to get the wedding rings, which is pretty. There's some entertaining scenes in this movie. I understand that, but the entertaining scenes I don't think are meant to be. The scenes we found entertaining were not the scenes that they meant to be entertaining. It was scenes that were just very stupid and just dumb. Yeah, lore based. That was very funny. However, the scenes that they try to make you laugh, that was heavy misses. Heavy misses. However, yes, they try to get the rings, and this black lady, shout out to the sister, she was funny though. But they kept pressuring them, like Zoe and Chase are trying to tell her, "Yo, we're not a couple, we're not a couple, we're not a couple." But they're thinking, the people at the wedding place are thinking, "Hey, where's hey, you're the bride and groom. Hello, Mrs. Reese and Mr. Reese." See, when Zoe and Chase first got there and rang the bell, the lady was she was kind of eyeing this one guy who was rich. But once Zoe was like, "Oh, we gotta order," the lady was like, "What?" And Zoe was like, "Oh, we gotta order." And then she's like, "Who?" And then they're like, "Oh, Mr. Reese, that lady, she dipped that nigga real quick." And went right to him and said, "Hey, here's some wine." She yelled at those bitches, and those bitches was eating some sandwiches, chilling in the back, and they're like, "Oh shit!" Got scrambled and shit. Got the I think they had a plate. I don't know what was on the plate. And then they got two champagne glasses. And then then they were like, "Oh, here you go." And then they're like, "Oh no," Zoe and Chase is like, "Oh no, we don't want it." And then the black lady's like, "You better take that shit." So they take the thing, they drink it. I don't know if they drink it. I think they do. And then the black lady makes them sit down and takes pictures of them and shit. The ladies in back takes pictures of them and shit. And you can see Zoe and Chase are very uncomfortable. And then
Black ladies, they're like, "Oh, you're not gonna get the," Chase and Zoe, they're trying to tell them, "Oh, we're not Logan and Quinn," because that's who the black ladies thought they were. And the black ladies were like, "Oh, you're not getting these rings unless you kiss." And then they pressured them into kissing. And Chase and Zoe kiss. And by this point in the movie, you're like, "Oh, Chase cheated on his girlfriend." But we'll get to that.
yeah, we'll get to that. And it's very interesting. This movie is very like it has you and then it loses you. And when I say it loses you, it loses you. And yeah, so Chase, quote unquote, cheated on his girlfriend. And basically they all left and they went back in the car. No, they went back. Yeah, they went back in the car. And in the car, mind you, she borrowed her friend's car. Well, stole. Technically, she stole it. She asked for the key, but then she took it and drove off. But he was proud of her. But, he kept texting her and saying, "Yo, I need that bitch back," because they need it for the show. Where she helps that actor. That actor guy, right? So that actor guy, he's going through it. She told her boyfriend over the course of the movie to babysit him and watch over him. And her boyfriend was just happy to go on set. So he was like, okay. But the actor ends up hitting his head and losing all his memories. And he also found a gray hair and dyed his hair orange. Anyways, so he forgets his lines all the time. So Zoe is pretty much like his nanny. And basically, yeah, so they go in the car, as in Chase and Zoe, after the whole ring incident. And Zoe forgets that, oh, we have to charge the automatically driving car. So the car is stuck on the side of the road. Oh yeah, they kiss while the car is driving. Not even they. Chase kisses Zoe while they're driving, and you're like, oh my gosh, Chase cheated on his girlfriend again. And you're like, damn, quote unquote. And you're like, damn. So you're like, damn, that's fucked up, Chase. But you see how selfish Zoe is as a person throughout this whole fucking film. Like, Zoe's a very envious, selfish person, and it makes you very upset. She does not deserve what she gets. But anyways, so yeah, they kissing, and they should be really watching the road, but the car is automatically driving, but who cares, we're kissing, right? So yeah, they're kissing, and yeah, so the car goes and stops there, right? It stops in the whatchamacallit, on the side of the road, and they leave the car, run, and mind you, Quinn is very concerned over Zoe. She's like, oh my gosh, Zoe, what's going on? Where is Zoe? I want her here. She's my best friend. Like, she's really going through it right now, and Zoe is her, that's your girl. So you're like, oh my gosh, I need help. She's the only one who I can speak to about this. Like, yeah, I can speak to others, but like, Zoe is the one I can really fall back on. She's my girl. So, you feel it for Quinn, right? And Zoe finally gets there after, oh yeah, we forgot to mention Logan's sister. If anybody watched the Thundermans, you should know Cherry, right? So Cherry is hilarious. I think her name is Lyric in this movie. Lyric just had me dying this whole fucking film because Lyric was just out. This bitch was out. This bitch was strange as fuck, but I loved it. And she's a quote unquote music artist, and the music she was just out. This bitch was different. This bitch was different, bro. But anyways, so she's making me laugh, making these beats with auto tune with her gloves and shit at their fucking wedding. At first it was decent, but then it just went this like beat boop and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? So she was stalling, of course, because she started singing pretty decent when they started walking down the aisle. But anyways, Quinn and Logan are they had her Logan's sister Lyric had a stall, aka Cherry from the Thundermans. And Logan, Quinn, Michael, he lost his voice because he was rapping at the bar, so he couldn't say the vows. Well, he couldn't be the officiate. Yeah. So yeah, he could be the officiate because of the vows, because of his rapping. My bad. And yeah, so Stacy ends up doing the vows, but she has a murder podcast, so she's like, "May everyone be seated." And then they're like, "Damn, bitch." Shit. So that's one thing. And Chase and Zoe finally get there, and you see Zoe's boyfriend sitting down across from Chase's girlfriend. And yeah, so they finally are getting ready and shit. But before they start walking down the aisle, Mark looks at Stacy, because Stacy, when they were at their dinner earlier in the movie, like they all went to some dinner, like everybody, Logan, I believe his family, Quinn's family, and all the people, their friends and shit. So Stacy's like telling Mark, like, we need to, like, why aren't you not working and shit? And Mark is like, I thought, we can relax. And then she's like, relax, you're my film, like, partner. And he's like, I'm your husband as well, And she's like, you know what? Fuck it. She's like, go find something. And he's like, well, if there's murder here? And she's like, why would you say that? And he's like, you know what? I'm sorry, I'll keep on working. But anyways, because I said that scene because how I was speaking at the wedding, and how Zoe's boyfriend and Chase's girlfriend are sitting across. So as Stacy is officiating the wedding, Mark sends her something, and they see a guy who's a suspect wanted, and they see a guy who looks similar to Zoe's boyfriend, if not exactly like Zoe's boyfriend. However, in actuality, it looks nothing like that man. But I guess to them it does, so we're gonna roll with that. And they think he's a murderer. Go on, family. You continue. I low key am starting to forget this fucking shit. I remember the important parts, but like that should be insane.
Yeah, same here. But yeah, basically. Oh yeah, and throughout this time, right, Logan and Quinn, they're mostly Logan. They're getting frustrated because Zoe and Chase were taking so long. But Chase and Zoe, they're the the bridegroom or something like that.
Remember, she was at work and she had her phone.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Golfer. You just reminded me. So yeah, they had their phone. Zoe had her phone, like my brother was saying. They walked down the aisle. Zoe had her phone, right? She had her phone because she had to work the same day as Quinn and Logan's wedding, right? And Chase is noticing this. And mind you, Zoe has to tell the guy what to say. So she has the ear thing and microphone, earpiece and microphone, right? And she's looking at the show as she's standing right behind Quinn. So they hear Stacy hears Zoe speaking, and she's like, "Oh, would the maid of honor like to say something?" And they end up hearing Zoe saying stuff regarding the show, but then Quinn is like, "Zoe, what's going on?" And then she's like, "Why are you watching that show?" And then Zoe's answering Quinn, but the answer she's giving Quinn makes the guy sound very shallow because he's just repeating what Zoe is saying. And the guy, they're on a love show. It's supposed to be like Love Island or Temptation Island or some shit. And basically, what Zoe is saying something along the lines of, "No, I never wanted her. Of course not." And
Yeah, so basically, Zoe's interrupting Quinn's wedding, right? They're literally almost up to the vows, and Zoe's literally talking on her phone, but people are brushing it off. And then that's when the whole thing with Mark happens, where he sends Stacy the text. Stacy literally incriminates Todd, Zoe's fake boyfriend, for being a murderer, but he's trying to defend himself, right? And then everything just falls apart at this point, right? Zoe's saying the wrong stuff. So on the live show, the dumb actor, he's saying the wrong stuff. And his woman's crying, right? He's literally breaking her heart. He says he wants the car instead of her, but they open the hatch and there's no car in there because Zoe and Chase just left it dying on the side of the road. And whatchamacallit, the whole wedding just falls apart. This is when Quinn's had it. Quinn's just, she's saying everybody's messing up. Zoe, she lied. She's being a bad friend. She could have just told her instead, making these plans unreasonably, she says. And then she yells at Logan, is like, "Oh, you don't care about me, you're just trying to make this such a big thing." And then Quinn runs away. Logan's like, "Baby, no." And then she's like in some random apartment building grieving. And Zoe,
no, remember. Sorry, I'm low-key eating. But anyway, the point the point is, as my brother was saying, sorry, I'm trying to chew on this Cajun sweet potato fries. Anyways, point is, so I forgot what, I think they're like, "Oh, we need to go back." Maybe she needs to go back. Something about going back to PCA, right? But mind you, PCA is a dump because of being Rivers, and the school was closed many in 2009. I think the school was closed, 2009. So the school was closed for years and abandoned, right? But when you look, you can tell that's not even the same college that they even showed in the OG show. And you're like, wait a second. Which I can understand. But you're like, wait a second, this sounds like PCA. But it turns out they filmed in North Carolina. So, but I believe in ZOEY 101 they filmed in PCA. They filmed PCA in California. But anyways, Zoe's like, "You know what? We should go back to PCA. I need to go back." And they decided to clean it up. And I'm guessing Zoe knew what happened between, she saw Quinn leave, so she knew. And Logan is like, "How would I get her here? Like, how do I even get it to come here?" And Zoe is like, "Have you ever talked to her?" He's like, "I sent her, like, I sent her mad different gifts. Like, he's naming the gifts he sent her. And Zoe's like, have you ever talked to her? And you just see Logan say, oh, yeah, no. Or something along those lines. He's like, no. And Zoe's like, you should do that. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, there is no fucking way. There's something among those lines, but there is no fucking way you're telling me that Logan and Quinn never talked when they literally talked in the show together. And they've been together for, from what she said, over a decade. So you're telling me that, what makes it different now? I'm glad they're still together too, because they're my favorite couple, which is why the ending makes me angry. But anyway, the point is, Logan drives to Quinn's random apartment, like my brother said. He puts balloons in the air, saying, can we talk? She goes, opens the window, and sees Logan on the floor, and he's like, baby, I love you, come back to me, or some shit. And she's like, oh, maybe we just want different things in life. And he's like, no, baby, I want you, baby, I love you, Quinn. And then he yells it like how he did in the show. He's like, yeah, he said he messed up.
Yeah, he said he messed up and all that stuff. And yeah, he yells it out like, I love you, Quinn. And then she's like, I love Quinn Penske. And then she's like, I love Logan Reese. I don't know, my mind's just not on it. But yeah, they do it just like in the show. And they come back. He's like, oh, you gotta come down here because I want to take you somewhere.
Yeah, she said, come upstairs.
Yeah, she was like, oh, come upstairs.
And we all know what that
Yeah, we all know what that meant. But yeah, he was like, oh no, you need to come down here. I need to show you something and take you somewhere, right? And then this is where, the moment we've been waiting for is happening, right?
Yeah, right? So what happens is he takes Quinn back, and she's like, where am I? And he puts a blindfold on her. And she's like, where am I, Logan? And then he takes the blindfold off. And he's like, oh shit. She's like, oh my gosh, we're at PCA. Right? And then, the awestruck, supposed to be memories, all that shit, for the fans, yada yada yada. And basically, he proposes to her. He goes down on one knee. And he's like, I think ZOEY apologizes. And then Logan goes down on his knee. And he's like, Quinn, will you marry me still? Yeah, will you marry me still? And then she smiled and said, yes, I will, or some shit like that. And then Logan, you can see he's genuinely happy. And he's smiling and he high fives everybody. Like, I feel happy for Logan and Quinn. Like, you feel their relationship is the most genuine out of this movie. And Dustin is not in the movie. Victoria Justice, aka Lola. But Dustin has kids, and he has 2 babies, twins. I don't know if they're on the way or if he's having another child on the way. But anyway, point is basically, so he high fives them and all that, is happy, but didn't Chase and his quote unquote girlfriend, don't you see them arguing or some shit? Yeah, they
Yeah. Chase's girlfriend, she was just fed up the whole time. She didn't like nobody. She didn't like any, except Todd. She liked Zoe's fake boyfriend, right? But besides that, she didn't put up with nobody. And she was like, you know what, Chase? I can't stand you anymore. This has gone on long enough. The lie has been, I'm done lying. And this is where you learn that Chase and his girlfriend were they were broken up like 2 weeks before the wedding. So that means Chase is not a cheater. And you know what? Before you know the movie ended, there was a big disappointment, and that is when Logan and Quinn get married. Officially.
Now first you gotta see the lab coat.
Oh yeah, Quinn gets her lab coat on like she always wanted, like she always dreamed of when she getting married. And Logan, like he ripped his shirt open and had a tuxedo underneath.
That's up to you.
Yeah, tuxedo t-shirt. And this is where they this was my last strike in the movie. I didn't get to the second.
This is my second strike. Nah, because remember the ending.
Oh yeah. Second strike. This is the second strike. So when they, Michael got his voice back, and he's about to say the vows. Well, yeah, he's about to officiate, right? And before they can even say the vows, before they say if they have any words for each other, before they say are they a objection, before they say you may kiss your bride, they just skip over the whole thing. There's no I do's.
They Afro Samurai resurrection us, and I hate it. How are you? The whole point of this movie was to see them get married, to see their wedding, and we don't even see the wedding. We don't even see them say, "Oh, I do. You may kiss the bride. I love you." We see none of that. It's a waste of your time. It wastes your time. That was over an hour and change that nobody can get back. And you don't even give us something that we earned, something that we should have got. Seeing them getting married, we don't get none of that. What was the point of watching this movie?
Yeah, that was the second strike right there. That one broke the camel's back.
Definitely did. That's what my fucking came with. That got me tight. That lowered my score heavily.
Yeah, once that happened, my score went down. And yeah, then they try to have something right in the end, where it's like, oh, Zoe and Chase, they gotta still have their moment, right? Because they like kiss, but they're still not like together yet. So this time,
they said I love you.
Yeah, but this time, right? Chase is walking through the crowd. He sees Zoe. Zoe sees him, and this time he doesn't hit the pole.
Wow. That made me smile. Glee.
Yep, glee. But yeah, he actually missed the pole. He redeemed himself after all these years. After a whole hour and 30 minutes, 35 minutes in the movie, he finally redeemed himself. And then, they go up to each other, they hug, and then they both say I love you to each other. And then yeah, that's how it ends. And then you got like an extra thing where it's like Zoe's boyfriend. Oh yeah. So Zoe also gets a promotion, right? Because it turns out the whole promotion where her actor messed up his lines, because of her, it caused them to have higher ratings. And then the boss was like, you know what, I'll give you a promotion. You're a good, you have balls.
Yeah, she said I quit.
Yeah, this woman had the audacity to say I quit. But she did it, she did good. She was like, she waited for him to say, "Oh, I'll double your you know, what's it called, salary," right? And she was like, "Done." And then what's his name? Todd got a job at the place that Zoe was at because she picked him up. And then yeah, then you have like in the end, and Stacy and Mark, they're like, they're investigating. They're like, oh, I guess he wasn't the culprit. And then they're walking off, and then you see Todd, because this man is obsessed with acting. He was the best character throughout this entire movie, but this man has a problem. And he's obsessed with acting. He literally he's the reason that Quinn and Logan almost got killed, because Zoe, she was trying to, she played it off wrong, but she was trying to get his attention, but this man was just deep breathing, inhaling, trying to play his part. And at the end of the movie, he's like, oh, oh, oh yeah, Stacy apologized to him, right? But Stacy was first having suspicions because when they had their little slumber party, this man like forgot where he didn't know an actual place in Australia, so he said a wrong place. Stacy caught on to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she pointed out at the wedding, like my sister said. And you know, because he was like, oh, I wasn't the murderer, but he found it interesting. He was like, I'm gonna pretend to be a murderer. And this man literally has somebody in the trunk of his car, in a body bag, and he tells them to shush and be quiet, and then that's how it ends. Yeah, I think, I mean, he had somebody in a body bag. We don't know who it is. We don't know who it is, but it was somebody. Maybe it was Chase's girlfriend. But yeah, he's literally like, oh, I'll pretend to be a murderer, and then follows them.
That was the third strike for me. Because how the fuck is this movie? You're telling me it's supposed to be a slice of life return to murder mystery? This movie does not know what it wants. It pretends to be a Hallmark movie, but worse. And the only best part is Quinn and Logan, and even still, they're done dirty most of the time. I love them as characters. To me, they're the best part of this film. Todd, of course, was a goat, even though he was a shit character as well. All the characters were shit and dumb bad. But I do like Quinn and Logan the best because for me, they were the most consistent to their characters. And Quinn is she now is like the owner of Techniques, which is kind of weird because, they were giving Techniques, but I guess she made a technology for it and started making them, I guess. Not explained, but the movie was shit. Wasting my time. They could have showed me their wedding. Why is Todd a pain? And why does it seem like you're setting up for another movie? I don't want it. I don't want a mystery series with Stacy and Del Figaro. Anyways, if you know my channel, you know what I'm about to say. This movie gets a Makoto disapproval. Fuck this film. I give it a 3 out of 10. I would have given it a higher score if 1, they showed the wedding, and 2, even if they kept that shitty little murder thing at the end, I still probably would have rated higher. The main thing that really lowered my score was the fucking when they ruined the school PCA. They pretty much crushed my childhood, but I was still optimistic. But what really was the straw that broke the camel's back was when they didn't even show me Quinn and Logan get married. I didn't even get to see it. They do Afro Samurai Resurrection. How dare you, bitch? That's why I didn't even pay to watch this film. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's the truth right there. But yeah, I got the same thoughts. You know, it was Hallmark level, but a little bit worse. It was you know, the movie ZOEY was the main problem, and it was like the lies that she did in the beginning. It all just it made everything worse for everybody. Like if she just said, "Oh," I mean, hey, you know, it worked out in the end for her because, you know, that's the type of movie that this is. But you know, she still caused problems for everybody, and Todd is low-key insane. And yeah,
sums up our review pretty nicely. I would like to thank my brother, Gohan Fan 27, for joining me on this special review.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No problem, B. Anytime. So yeah, this movie is a waste of your time. The whole point was to watch them get married. You don't even see that. ZOEY is so self-absorbed and so petty that bombastic side-eye killed me. That was crazy, bro. Kissed the nigga and looked at the nigga too. Like, okay, bitch. Okay. Quinn and Logan are the best part. Seeing Stacy and Mark get together was definitely a shock, but very, very intriguing. I like that concept. And seeing basically all their careers was good. That's the positives. The positives was seeing the lore, seeing what happened, even though some of the stuff with the lore was bullshit, but what can we do? We can only give but so much. However, there were good points in this movie. I laughed. A great amount. I laughed, but not at the funny scenes that they quote-unquote think are funny. I laughed at shit that was not supposed to be laughing. But anyways, I laughed at how bad this fucking film was. Shit. Dog shit. Anyways, I'm T-Wolf 156, aka The Drifter. And this is my brother,
Gohan Fan 27.
And we are out. Peace. Fuck this film. I love ZOEY 101.
I had to sit you down to talk about it. It shows me a lot from your silence. You told all your friends that I'm violent, but you can quit the cap, no you lying. I had to beat it up to stay inside. These tears are happiness the way you cry. I keep a cold possess up in my ride. I know you want it all, but it's all mine. Tell you about a story about a couple of Zans. I was fucking around in Houston with a couple of fans, but excuse me, they was groupies, it was not in the plan. Either way, we pop pills and we all held hands. I had to sit you down to talk about it. It shows me a lot from your silence. You told all your friends that I'm violent, but you can quit the cap, no you lying. I had to beat it up to stay inside. These tears are happiness the way you cry. I keep a cold possess up in my ride. I know you want it all, but it's all mine. I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my I'm way too drunk. I'm way too numb. Yeah. Getting that head. bitch going dumb, oh my. Call your friends, thinking I'll get in, I'll get it. Take a ride in my Benz, take a ride through the ends. I had to sit you down to talk about it. It shows me a lot from your silence. You told all your friends that I'm violent, but you can quit the cap, no you lying. I had to beat it up to stay inside. These tears are happiness the way you cry.